Good morning. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines. A new report shows the disproportionate impact Hurricane Ian had on Florida's rural agricultural areas. WMNF's Chris Young reports.
Florida's rural counties are home to 6% of the state's population, which is about 1.3 million residents. And after Hurricane Ian brought unprecedented damage to Florida last year, rural Florida counties that rely on agriculture suffered. A new report from the Environmental Defense Fund cites research from the University of Florida estimating over $2 billion in crop losses from Hurricane Ian. Dawn Sheriffs is the Florida director for the Environmental Defense Fund.
We saw inland communities who didn't anticipate getting the type of devastation that they saw from the heavy rainfall in Hurricane Ian in 2022 are still trying to recover and figure out a path forward.
The report highlights that high temperatures and extreme weather events are impacting crop yields. It also explains how rural communities face higher energy costs, and extreme climate events can further increase energy costs. Sheriffs hopes that the report will inform legislators and the public on the layered effects of climate change. She says climate change impacts food availability, housing, and more.
So we have to be able to sort of bring in these different layers of information and data and really understand what's at risk, because it is hard to justify, difficult political decisions if you don't understand what the cost of inactions look like.
You can read the full report on letstackleclimatechangeflorida.com. For WMNF News, I'm Chris Young.
Estimated insured losses from Hurricane Idalia topped $156 million Sunday as the total climbed steadily. Data posted on the State Office of Insurance Regulation website showed that's based on 17,472 claims. After canceling a scheduled in-person meeting last month, Governor Ron DeSantis and the cabinet will meet by phone next Monday, according to an agenda posted on the cabinet website. Also, the panel will consider purchasing conservation easements in several counties. Conservation easements protect land from development while allowing private owners to continue using the property for such things as farming or ranching. The canceled August meeting was scheduled the same week as DeSantis participated in a Republican presidential debate. The most recent cabinet meeting was more than 4 months ago. The FBI is continuing a nationwide search for Christopher John Worrell, a Naples, Florida man and a member of the Proud Boys extremist group who disappeared in August, days before his sentencing in the U.S. Capitol riot case. Worrell's attorney said yesterday he has no idea where his client is. Worrell's main legal representative, attorney William Lee Shipley Jr. of Hawaii, appeared on the cable-based network show Dan Abrams Live last night and said he has not heard from his client since before he vanished and has no idea where he is.
No information other than the information that was communicated to me on the day that he went missing, and pretrial services, who was monitoring the GPS, sent a local sheriff's for a welfare check and discovered that the monitor had been cut off and he was gone.
Worrell was found guilty in May of multiple charges in the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol breach. He faces more than a dozen years in prison. The FBI confirmed yesterday that they were still looking for Worrell and said any tips can be submitted to tips.fbi.gov. This year, projected hikes in property appraisals are bringing taxing consequences. Homeowners across Florida are getting their proposed property taxes for the year, and for many, it's the highest increase they've seen yet. WMFE's Liliana Hernandez Carballo reports why taxes might be higher for Floridians this year and what homeowners can do about it.
Some homeowners across the state will have to pay hundreds more every month in property taxes. These taxes are assessed based on the real estate market value of homes, which is just now starting to slowly come down after an all-time high. Dominic Calabro is president and CEO of Florida Tax Watch, a tax research institute. He says the system is becoming unsustainable. Along with impact fees, a rise in population, and the highest inflation in the nation, the financial stress might be enough to squeeze some people out of the market.
At some point, we're going to make Florida a place where, it's wonderful, but the cost of food, the cost of housing, the cost of all these things is prohibitive and difficult for people of average means, let alone low-income means.
Calabro says homeowners should take advantage of homestead exemptions, as well as become engaged in their local city and county politics to effect change. In Orlando, I'm Liliana Hernandez Carballo.
And Liliana Hernandez Carballo is Report for America Corps member. According to a press release, Sarasota police are investigating an armed robbery that occurred at a home on the 1600 block of 36th Street, Sarasota, shortly after 4:30 p.m. yesterday. At least one shot was fired, but no one was struck or injured. This remains an active and ongoing investigation. Anyone believing they have information on this incident is asked to call Criminal Investigations Division at 941-263-6070 or leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers by calling 941-366-TIPS. Critics of cash bail as a condition for pre-trial release say it is especially unfair to black people and other people of color. Some former defendants say their lives were upended when they were wrongfully arrested and charged with crimes in Illinois that they did not commit and could not make bail. A law in that state to abolish cash bail will take effect in Illinois on September 18th. That will make Illinois the first state to eliminate the practice of cash bail. Proponents of cash bail systems argue that without it, violent criminals who are released pre-trial may commit more crimes. For the weather, it's mild and fair in the Tampa Bay area. Highs today in the lower 90s, overnight lows in the mid-70s. Possible thunderstorms this afternoon. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines on 88.5 FM and the WMNF app.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.